All right. Welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Vivian Ifeagu, a teacher, a licensed teacher for over 15 years old, who is currently in Europe, trying my best also to get ways to help our educational system in Nigeria. I am also the founder of Chukrani Consult, where I work with educators, teachers, and parents, and of course, young children, okay, to better the system of education in our country. If you want to know more about me, you can Google my name, Vivian Ifiagu, and then you get to know more about me. Before I continue, I would like everybody listening to us to please join us on our different platforms, social platform handles. Follow us and please also share with your colleagues, with your friends, with your connections too. As I'm talking, I want to believe my team because I have my team. My team will also, from time to time, post the links for you to please join us, support us in what we have come to do. Because we believe that we are going to do a lot. We are going to be agents of good change in this our educational system and as a family as large. Please try and subscribe, try and follow us, try and share with us, with your connections. We ask for this. The only thing we are asking for. Thank you so much. Thank you as you do so. All right. For today, I'll be talking about beyond punishment. Yes, I'll be talking about beyond punishment. Okay. Effective disciplinary means, because not every disciplinary action works for our learners, works for our children. Okay. And we're going to be focusing on responsibility. We're going to be focusing on research based methods. Okay. We're going to be practical in this section. And that's why I'm trying to tell everybody, please, we're going to participate. We're going to be active. I'm going to call, from time to time, call someone's name. And that was why initially I wanted us to introduce ourselves. Glory, please be here with me. Okay. Thank you so much. And then from time I would like to know who and who is present, okay, so that we all participate here. We want to learn from one another. Even as I'm talking, I'm also talking to myself. As I'm sharing with you, but I'm also getting knowledge from you as you respond. Thank you, everyone. So today, you are going to be learning a lot of things, even though this is a course, it's actually a course that has like up to 8 models, but I'm not going to finish the 8 models. We're just going to concentrate on one. However, I promise you that you are going to get more than you have ever expected before coming in or before even registration. Okay. But then if you by the time you finish the first model, if you are so interested, which I know you will be, then you will come for our course to come in to get the courses, the remaining 7 models. And I promise you, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to gain practical strategies on really how to, you know, deal with this, handle this, work with children, work with learners, young learners. It's a promise I'm giving you. Thank you. So at the end of this, we are going to know about punishment, as in why punishment fails. Okay. You're going to know the differences between punishment and what discipline. Okay. We're going to learn about behavioral change, the positive behavioral change. We're going to learn about the real connection for responsibility, the real connection, that leads to good responsible kids. Okay. We're going to learn about creating good learning environment. All this in just module 1. And I promise you, it's not going to be boring. And I promise you, you have to also participate in order to do what? Help me gain also from you as you gain from me. Thank you. These are the models I talked about. However, we are focusing on just the first one. And that leads us to the question that asks is what's the difference, between punishment and discipline? What is the difference? Understanding discipline versus punishment. Before I continue, I would like to know our own opinion. I will just call somebody, one person, to tell me, what do you think? Or what comes to your mind when you hear discipline? And what comes to your mind, another person, what comes to your mind when you hear punishment? Okay? Because sometimes some teachers and even parents really think that these two are the same. But the truth is, they are not the same. So, without wasting time, I will like to call Kosi is here. Kosi, what do you think? In your own opinion, what do you think discipline is all about?
Okay, thank you. So, you said, what do I think is the difference between discipline and punishment?
No, just your own definition or your own explanation about just discipline. Not Don't compare the two, just the discipline. What do you think about it?
Okay,
What
discipline.
comes to your mind? Yes.
Okay, about discipline. Okay,
Yes.
for me, discipline would be habits, and I would like
Okay.
to add good habits that have become natural, over practice, right? That someone has just made a part of their life. That's what I would define discipline as. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Kosi. I just got it. I got good habits, okay? And I've taken that. Good habits. All right. Then the next one is punishment. Judith, please, can you help us? What do you think? What comes to your mind when you hear punishment? What's that striking thing that comes to your mind when you hear punishment?
Hi, thank you, Vivian. Good evening, everyone. What quickly comes to my mind when I hear punishment is consequence, repercussion. At the risk of defining a word with another big word, I would say the effects of a negative behavior, like what you get by what are the consequence of a negative behavior, which is
Okay.
um, either given by someone in authority or just natural consequences that just follows. That's what I think punishment is.
Okay. Thank you so much, Judith. As you also said, as you were talking, I picked something immediately, consequences. Okay. Now, when we compare these two things that you guys, when you think about comes to mind, they are not bad things, not at all. Consequences for having for displaying a negative behavior. Okay. And Kosi said good habits. Oh, they are not bad. They are good things. But then I have a story. It's not like it's a story, but it's like an imagination time, imagination moment right now. Now, look at this. In an office, of course, we have our schools and we have the HR department and all that. We can all relate to, or even if it did not happen to you directly, it has not happened to you directly, it could have happened to your colleague. Imagine the HR department or whatever administrative department, whatever it could be in the case of that office, and someone, a staff, misbehaves or maybe goes contrary to the rules abiding the school, and the HR brings something that they normally say in 24 hours, tell us why we cannot, use disciplinary action against you, why disciplinary action cannot be carried on you. Please, have we ever heard of that? Or even though it did not happen to us, or have you ever experienced it happening to your colleague? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Hello?
yes.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I have also witnessed it. I've seen my colleagues getting stuff like why tell us why disciplinary action cannot be, carried upon you of under 24 hours and blah blah blah, how they state it. Okay, now my question is, have we ever thought about this? What I'm going to ask now. Have you ever thought about why is it that they don't ask you, they don't say, tell us why punishment cannot be, cannot be what's it called now, cannot be carried on you under 24 hours. Hello? Do you understand? Why is it that they don't state why punishment? Because whatever has happened, like Judith told us, is the consequences of negative what behavior or habit, right? Or going contrary to what is normal, right? But then still in that office setting, they can never say, you can never say, tell us why we will not punish you. They will say, tell us why the disciplinary action will not be upon you. And they will give you time for 24 hours. Now, my main question is, why is it that we don't give children time? We just land on them. We don't give these young learners time. Most of us just land on them immediately to give them the consequences. Have we ever thought about that? So an adult can be given 24 hours time to reflect, to think, to go through what has happened, to even correct, to now have even say, please, I'm sorry. But then our learners, most of our parents, most of our teachers, we don't give our learners that time. An adult is given under 24 hours. Tell us why. But then, as a child, immediately we are like, get out of this place. Stop that thing. Oh my God. Sometimes when I listen to all those things or witness it, I'm like, we adults, we are really wicked to these children, to these young learners. Yes, the word wicked in quote. Because I also know that some of us, we do it out of ignorance. Okay? So yes, this is deep. If an adult could be given 24 hours to think, to reflect, how come we don't also apply such to our young learners? Why are they even learners? Because they don't know. That is a question that we all should answer from time to time, and even make our own friends, our people surrounding us to also answer such questions. And that leads me to another story. But before then, of course, we are now going to now know the difference, between discipline and punishment. Like Kosi wanted to give us the difference, but I said no. Just give us what you think discipline is, and let's hear from another person what punishment is. And it was just their own opinion. I know some other people have their own opinion, but we worked on that, on the ones that was given to us, which of course will not be so different from anything any other person will give. Okay. And you see the question I threw to us. Why do we now have parents, a child will just do boom? Even on social media, you are seeing the parents doing all sorts of things to a child. Even in the classrooms, you see a teacher flogging a child mercilessly. And if you ask, they say corporal punishment is good. It's good how? Have you given that child 24 hours time? Like you will be given in your office? Oh no. I think there should be justice for children. There should be justice for young learners. Well, now we have to think about the difference between discipline and this punishment. Maybe most of us are ignorant, and this is why we should keep preaching this. We should keep saying it. Okay, because I know that some of us, we say, yeah, but when our parents, that's how they trained us. At least we came out well. They did only what they knew. They didn't know more, that because you can't give what you don't have. They did what they knew then. Most people that always refer back to what their parents did to them, how they were beaten up and then they turned out well. That was what they knew. They couldn't give what they don't have. And now that we know, now that the awareness is clear, why is it that people are not ready? Some are even arguing it with whatever evidence they think they are bringing, Why, yes, still that's beating a child and hitting a child and instilling fear in a child should continue. And I shake my head. I'm like, no, especially our African countries. And I'm like, oh, we have a long way to go. Now, I have another story. This story is about Chike. Chike is in a classroom, okay? And Chike was learning. The teacher, a fantastic teacher, an experienced, qualified teacher teaching. And then all of a sudden, Chike bangs on his table. Boom, boom, boom. No. And the teacher looks, and the teacher is like, Chike, can you stop that? Please stop that. It's unacceptable. But then Chike was like, okay, and stopped. And then the lesson continued. Again, Chike could not take it. The boy screams and threw away his writing pen and the book. And then the teacher is like, now I can't take this. You need to move out. Maybe the assistant, take him out. He's disturbing the classroom. And Chike moves out. And the problem of disturbance in the classroom stopped. And Chike, of course, was somewhere quiet. Instruction taking. Calmness returned back to the peace returned back to the classroom. And that was what the first teacher did. Now we had another teacher who happened to still teach another child, the same Chike. Still, the teacher was teaching. And at a time, Chike could not take it anymore. He tried his best, because the other teacher has already warned him and he doesn't want to go out. But then still, Chike cannot help it. Chike still banged on his table. No. And the teacher looked at Chike, and the teacher walked forward. Chike, what is wrong? What? Why did you do that? And Chike just, murmured. But then later, Chike calmed down, and the teacher said, it's okay, take it easy, tell me, what is wrong? Why did you do that? You are distracting the class. And then Chike says, but I don't understand. And that was just all. I don't understand. And then the teacher said, okay, I will help you. And from that day onwards, the teacher always tries to go back to understand. Chike, are you following what's happening? What? And Chike became confident enough to express himself. Now I come back to everybody listening to me. Can you see the two different scenes? Please, if you listened to my story, tell me the first part, the first teacher and the second teacher. Which one would you want your child to be in his or her class? Hello? Am I lost? Hello?
We can hear you.
I hear you.
Okay. I was asking if you are, I just have a question. Please, because I want to make it interactive. Because I can't, yes, I don't want to use emojis. I want people to talk. It helps me to know the people I'm talking to, their position, since I can't see people's what's it called, videos. So, because most of us like turning it off. So I prefer interaction than using emojis. I'm so sorry about that. So can I hear from someone, just somebody, volunteer? Can I hear from someone, the first teacher and the second teacher? Which one would you, if you hear this story, where would you want your child to be? Which class?
The second one.
Thank you. Why would you want your child to be in that second class?
Where the child will feel loved. The teacher is someone who would listen and understand my child, and also try to get to the bottom of things to know what might be the reason why this child, was misbehaved in the first place.
All right. Thank you so much. So you see, from what she answered, I want to believe that most of us, we want the teacher, our child to be in that class. Another person might still say, don't be surprised, honestly, if we are many here, don't be surprised that at least one person might say the first class. Don't be surprised. They might say, yes, the child is disturbing the classroom. It's possible, yes. Because if I tell you in this journey of, talking about discipline, especially discipline and punishment, if you hear all sorts of things, you just be like, wow, Don't be surprised that somebody else will like the child to be in the first class. Now, from this answer that was given to us, she said understanding. You see? So this teacher took time to understand the child. This teacher did not just immediately boom without allowing the child to without getting to know what's wrong. And you can see that, of course, number one, solve the problem of, I don't want that disturbance in my class. Number two is also solving the problem of, I don't want the disturbance in my class, the distractions in my class. But then she went extra too to help a child to understand the child, not just to, not just for her own, not just for her own, what do I say now, for her own satisfaction or her gain gain. Not only that, so she did extra. So punishment is always focusing on controlling, like we adults trying to control, is always focusing on that. The first person has already controlled the child. Get out of this class. And of course, the child will get out. This is not acceptable. You cannot do, and when the child is out there, the child is full of fears. Oh my God. But even the child did not understand why, he's leaving, because the only thing he gets is that my teacher does not love me, because the child has something disturbing. And one thing we should know, the teacher is trying to solve a behavior that the child displayed, right? But she's just solving only the behavior. She's not asking what is causing this behavior. And until teachers and parents get to understand that, we must always ask, what is causing this behavior? Why is he acting this way? Then we have not solved anything. Discipline is there to always teach. When it does not teach anything, it is not discipline. For example, what did first teacher teach Chike? Just taught Chike, don't do that again in my classroom. And Chike, being a child, we still do it again in your classroom. And then with time, Chike just knows that you will take me out to the outside, and I will stay outside. And even some children will now want to stay outside because you are confusing him. So this is the class scene that I've given to us. For us to understand that punishment is always focusing on controlling, why discipline wants to teach us. Discipline helps us to, helps the particular person displaying the behavior to reflect. Okay? It helps the person trying to correct, the person trying to say, there's a consequences. So it helps the person to even understand first why this action is happening. As you can see, I'm not condemning punishment, but I'm condemning how punishment is done. I'm condemning the route people take in order to instill punishment. I'm condemning what punishment on that road of punishment, that it carries, if we are not, if we are not careful to apply discipline in order for a child to understand that, yes, these are my consequences. I will still come back to that. But the difference I'm trying to let us know is that once it does not teach, it's not discipline. It's just only that punishment. Once it is not helping the child to reflect, it is not punishment, because the child goes out of the classroom. It is not discipline. The child goes out of the classroom. What's he thinking? My teacher hates me. Because the child has something to say. Behavior is communication. Note that. I'll say it again. Behavior is communication. So the child is trying to say something, but has been silenced. And the child obeys. Okay. And goes out of the classroom. So Another thing about our punishment is that it will just, for that moment, you achieve whatever change you want. It doesn't last. But discipline lasts. Somebody said discipline is the good habit. Habit is what we accumulate over a long time. What we always do. And after a long time, it forms our habit. So discipline is that which helps us, is lasting. Is those habits we have acquired, those actions that helps us to acquire the good habits, is that discipline. So discipline lasts for a longer time. But punishment will just, that moment you have achieved your aim, but the child has gained nothing because that child will repeat it again. And that's why you keep saying, this child does not hear. He is still doing this thing. I don't know what is wrong with this child. I don't know what I'm going to do to this child. Because you keep doing what? Applying punishment, punishment, punishment without trying to, okay, talk about how do I help this child? How do I put in that discipline, that this child will understand? All right, we have stressed on this. Let's get to the psychology of behavior. Yeah, I said it. I said that behavior is communication. If you did not get anything today, get it that behavior is communication. So for teachers here, when we talk about, this child is a talkative, ask yourself, but why is this child talking too much? That child is communicating to you. It might be that the child is talking too much because the child needs communication skills. The child is lacking it. So behavior is telling us a lot of things. They lack the skills the child has, or the skills the child is lacking. That's actually what behavior does. But most of us are just so quick to condemn a child. Meanwhile, in our offices, we are giving 24 hours disciplinary action. Why tell us in the next 24 hours? We are giving time. Tell us in the next 24 hours why we will not carry the disciplinary action on you. But then we cannot even do it to our children, to our learners in the classroom. They just do immediately strike, boom. A child did not do homework, immediately, we are angry. We are just pissed, like, why this child did not do my homework? This child is dragging me back. The child is not dragging you back. It might be that the child is lacking time management. It might be that in the house, the mommy and the daddy did not create a good learning environment for that child. Yeah, and that made me. We had a training 2 days ago. We talked about what's it called, learning environments. Setting up good learning environments in your homes. So please, adults, we are really, really dealing with children. Both at home, some parents, and in schools, some teachers. Wow, if only we can read the minds of children. They'll just be like, man, they are dealing with us. Even before we started this program, I was having a discussion with a friend. She said that, when we are planning something, they're busy planning another thing. Yes, now, because their word and our word is actually different. They will also plan. And you're planning yourself. So we have to really help these children. All right, psychology of behavior. Like I said, behavior is communication. Let's please pay attention. It's either the child is trying to communicate about their need or their emotions or even the environment. They're trying to tell you something about that environment. For example, a child that does not do homework every time might be telling the teacher, if you come to my house, my mommy and my daddy, if you see, they did not set any reading place for us. So they did not. In fact, every time there is phone up and down. Every time it's television in the bedroom, the television in the bedroom, television in the sitting room, television even in the kitchen. It's true. Why do we always, hit it, as in put all these things on our kids, on our learners, why? It's time for us to start rethinking, to make this shift. It is time. The time is now. And that's why we won't stop talking about all this. We want a better, learning environment for our children. We want a better disciplinary actions for kids. If adults could be given 24 hours to think to think why a particular disciplinary action should not be given to them, then I think children should even be given 1 month, or even forever, or even like time after time. We shouldn't get tired of them. Yes. All right. Now, I want to let us also understand something about Chike. What Chike did, if you look at it, the story I talked about, if you look at what's it called? The story I talked about, okay? Somebody told us is because, as in the teacher, that she likes the second teacher because the teacher has to understand that the teacher understood, try to understand where Chike is coming from. And that is very correct, okay? Because if you look at it, Chike is lacking something. Chike is he's trying to communicate. Let's just go back to the first teacher. Chike was trying to say something to her, but she did not. She failed Chike. And that's why her punishment will also fail, because she has already failed the child. She has already failed the person showing the behavior. So your punishment will fail. It will not last. It's just temporary. Yes, get what you want and go. Because me looking at it, that misbehavior that Chike put up there, of course, I'm not siding him. What he did there was a skill lacking in him. He was just screaming, help me, help me. That's what that, action, that behavior was saying. And then the second teacher went to do that helping. Chike was unsafe because the boy did not understand, meaning that the boy truly wanted to understand. Chike was overwhelmed, and Chike was also trying to say, nobody hears me, nobody listens to me, So please, as I'm talking to you that is listening to me, I'm also talking to myself. As we all gathered here to listen to this, I believe that we will also try to, educate the next person, help the next person. Let's spread this good news, that there's this slight difference between applying the disciplinary action and the punishment that, we are always quick to give the children. Okay, there's another story I would like to tell us, okay? Why children behave the way they do. They are just children, honestly. Children are like, learners. Imagine you what you don't know. You, like I said earlier on, you can't give what you don't have. They are kids. They have come into this world, they have come to us to show them the steps, the right steps. They are vulnerable. They have just come for us to lead the way. And so why can't we just lead them the right way? Understand that they don't know. There's this saying that he who does not know, complete it. He who does not know and knows that he does not know, there's this saying. So we should understand that when they don't know and they really want to know, we should help. When they don't know and they don't know that they don't know, we should help. Now, there's a story I also have. I don't know who has seen this story. It's not like, in any way, it's a story right now, because though it's a story I saw on internet, okay? It's viral. So I saw a mom. She told the child, the child actually took the pet's mom. The pet was a cat. So the child was angry or whatever. So she took the pet, threw the pet on the floor, took it again, up again, threw it on the floor, picked it up again, threw it on the floor. He did this thing like almost 6 times. Guess what the mom did? Or before I say that, can somebody tell me, what will you do if your child took your pet? Okay, this time around it's not a pet. I think why is the pet setting is because of the environment, because I know that we Africans, pet is not really our thing. But let's say let's say took your, maybe your, I don't know, something valuable to you and smashed it on the floor, did it again, smashed it again and again. Tell me, somebody should tell me. Glory, I think I want to hear from Glory. Is she here with us? Is she still with us? Glory, please, can you tell me what you would do, you know, in such scene?
No, Glory is not here. She told me that the network was bad and she wasn't hearing you clearly. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
she's
but I hope I'm clear
oh
enough.
yeah, Claire is just
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So who else is here? Aside from Judith and Kosi, who else can we call, please?
we have Christine. I think Glory is trying to join us. Let me add her.
Okay. So no, we can go with Christine. Christine, please, can you help us? Christine, are you there?
Hi, I have
Christine,
yeah, hi.
hello.
Yeah, I had issue with my connection, so I was like, it cut sometime.
Ah, okay, no
Mhm.
problem. So who
So you
else
can
do
ask
we
the
have?
question again. You can ask it again. I can ask
Okay, I
it.
can ask the question again. Thank you so much. Okay, I will. Now, I told a story about a viral video on internet. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this mother, this woman, okay, she's a mom. She has a son, and the son, I don't know. I don't know what happened because we didn't see that part. But it's just that the son was angry, so he lifted up the mom's pet, which is a cat, threw it on the floor, lifted it up again, threw it on the floor. He did that for 6 good times. And there's something the mom did. And I don't want to complete the story. So I just asked us, if you were in the mom's shoes, what would you do?
If I
Let's say
was,
it's not your pet. Let's say it's something valuable to you. So he
yeah, yeah,
smacked.
yeah, I understand. I understand.
Okay.
If I
Okay.
were back home in Africa, I would have beat him. But if I'm, but here where I am now, it's not possible. So maybe I will discuss with the child and then explain him that that's not good. And then when you are angry, it's not good to behave like that.
Okay. But then why would you now do a different thing in Africa and do a different thing in Obodo Oyibo?
Because the culture is not same. Back home,
Yeah.
it's easy for us to say to beat him and then explain. Even back home, I would have explained, but I would have beat him first. But here, I'm not sure I'm going to beat the child first.
Okay,
So that's the
but
difference. Mm.
okay. Let's take it another way. But why will you beat him in Africa? Let me just ask that question. Why will you beat him in Africa?
Yeah, because in Africa, we used to say that it's easy to understand when you beat someone.
But do you agree? Do you agree now that honestly is not the right thing to beat?
I
Because
can't say that it's
okay,
not the right thing. I think it's not bad. It depends. To beat your
it
children is
depends.
not trying to killing your children. You understand me?
Okay, wait,
You are
let me
not
ask you a
you're
question.
not
Let
going
me
to take a stone to shock your children with no. You are
Yeah,
going you beat your children is to correct your children. Even now I think it's not a bad things, but some parents exaggerate.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
for
But how
anything
do
they
you
just
know?
beat the
But
children
do you
they
know that?
do.
Yeah, but how do you know the one that is little for the child and the one that is heavy for the child? How do you know the beating that is little for the child and the beating that is small as in big for the child? Do you
I can have
understand?
two example. For example, you have a child who maybe he steal something in your house in the
Yeah,
house, and
yeah.
then I know some parents who have grind pepper, put it on the oint the child with it. Don't you think that is
Jesus.
too much? That's
Wow.
too much, right? Yeah, that's like a crime,
Wow.
right? Okay, I know because I've seen it with my own eyes.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
yes,
child
that's to show you,
abuse.
is to show you that
Jesus.
parents can exaggerate, but I still think that to beat the children is not a bad thing, but you need to know how you do that. For example, I know that there are some part of the body that is not good to beat. We usually say it's good to beat a child on he ass, for example. So you need to you are not going to take an what can I say? I don't know. I'm not good at English. You are not going to take something with iron to beat your children, for example. You try to you can for example take a spatula and you beat his ass maybe 1-2 times and say don't do that. That you can't say that the parent is exaggerating.
Okay.
But to say that we
Okay.
just need to counsel, I say no. Even here, no.
Okay. Okay. So I want to say something. So Chris, you see that you really frowned at that parent that put pepper, you really frowned at it. You understand? And that is also, do you know why you frowned at it? Because you are frowning at it because the parent is instilling pain, right? Is instilling
Yeah,
pain on the child. Is it not true?
no, that's true.
Exactly. Do you know that that's beating, you're also beating the child? You're also instilling pain in the child because you're not a child, you're not that child.
I understand. But do you know that sometimes words can hurt more than beating someone?
You are correct. And that's why we are talking about not shouting at the child. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to yell at a child because just like the Bible even told us, even your words can kill somebody's soul. You understand? Yes.
Yeah.
So we should all know that because I'm coming to that too with this story I'm talking about. You get?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also talking, that's why I paused the story. You understand? So
Okay.
please, also the spanking. Some people will even say that the Bible said spare the rod and spoil the child. But do you know that the Bible, they did not get what that Bible was saying? Because if they got what that Bible was saying, therefore, they will go and get the rod. Because the Bible said rod. It did not say
Mm-hmm.
take the cane, spare the cane. You understand? Like if we
Mm-hmm.
want to follow that Bible, they should go and take rod and flog and spank the child. But that's not what the Bible meant. The Bible was not talking about physically going to get the rod and spank the child. No. The Bible was talking about spare the rod and spoil the child. It was all about saying, if you don't discipline your child, you are going to spoil the child. But some of us, our African mamas, we are always like, is that okay? Tell me why the Bible now said, spare the rod and spoil the child. No. And this was because it's what has happened to us that we are now using as another means, to train these children. And do you know why we are really trying to hammer on this? Because we are not the children of now. The children of now are the alpha children, the children that are born into technology, into digits, into AI, artificial intelligence. They are the children we have now. And we cannot be using the means our parents trained us to also train these new generation children, these I generation kids. We shouldn't do that, you know. And that's why we will keep sensitizing people on this. We will continue to sensitize people on this. Do you know that as a parent, you can do the wrong thing, even give the wrong disciplinary action, and or rather, of course, when disciplinary action is wrong, is also punishment. That's why I told you that punishment is not bad, though. You understand? Remember from the onset. Okay,
Yeah.
so we should always, yes, we should always try our best. You see what you are telling me? When I said that we should not be surprised that if we are many here, that some people will say, I prefer the first teacher that told the child to go out. Some people will say it, and you'll be so shocked that, did the parents just say that? Meanwhile, another set will not tell us we pick the second one, just like Eunice told us. It's really very, very, it's really very, very um pathetic, that we are every most of us we are wrong. As in, we are no, I don't want to use the word wrong. Most of us we are stuck. Yes, we are stuck in this because it's what we gained from our parents. When we say learn, relearn, unlearn, we just say it like that. It's not easy. It's not easy. Just like Chris told us, is a culture. Yes, it's a culture. And thank God that Chris is now abroad. And Chris is telling us she cannot do it here. In fact, thank God she's even there now because she knows she cannot do it. She can't do it. Why? Because these people have actually studied all this and they have learned that it is not the best method. 2 days ago, I told us that we were talking about the best environment for children to learn. I gave that topic when we were in a gathering we called from classroom to living room. Now, in that gathering, I told people that, these are our individual families. We have set it up. Yes, we have set it up the way we want our kids to grow, to even learn our study room, our study this for the children. But then, do you know why people are jappering? Do you know why Chris has left our country? Chris, you left the country. One of the reasons you left, because you want to give your children better training in the larger environment, in the larger country, because our country has failed us. And we don't want it to fail our kids. So if we have anything, we take them out. Because you can finish doing everything for your child in the home. But the society will not deal with the child. And that's why some people say Nigeria happened to this child. I don't know if we have heard that phrase. Nigeria happened to so person. Because if we have set our own country well, and that's why South Africans are saying, go leave our country, even though they're doing it in a very bad way. They're saying, leave our country before you mess it up for us. Go and arrange your own country, Well, even though, like I said, they're doing it in a very bad way. And of course, we all know that not all South Africans are bad. But then, the majority that is doing whatever they are doing now are painting South Africans bad. Well, I just hope that one day our African mamas and papas will understand, will understand the true difference between discipline and punishment. Okay, now let me continue with the story. So, do you know what this woman did? Like Chris said, she cannot beat that child. You cannot beat the child, though. You can't. In Africa, you maybe, let's say the woman's what's it called, telephone or whatever, you smashed it. Most African mothers will just bazara for you once so that your head will reset. They will say your head will reset, but it's just for that temporary time. Do you know what this woman did? She brought the boys PlayStation. She brought the PlayStation, gave it to the boy, told the boy, now lift it up, smash it on the floor. Lift it again, smash it on the floor. Smash it the number of times you did my pet. That's what you will do. And that's what the boy did. He lifted it, smashed it the first time up to 6 times. Now, that was where the video stopped. My question again, what do you think about the woman's what's it called, action? Do you think it's punishment or disciplinary action that she has given? Please, Eunice, I will go to you again. Do we have any new person I can ask? Please help me.
Yes, we have Ima here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Emma, maybe, I hope that's a guy. Let's have a guy to speak. Please, Emma, can you help us? What do you think about the woman's action? Do you think that's, when the boy finished smashing his own PlayStation, the video finished. That was where the video stopped. So we are taking it that everything stopped there. So what do you think, Emma? Please give us the honor.
Hello, good evening. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Is that Emma?
Yes, I'm not a guy. That's
Oh,
what I wanted
thank you.
to
No
say.
problem.
Okay, well, what do I say? I don't quite agree with her actions. Yeah. Um, but that's why I joined, because I know the discipline, especially with today's children, is just a lot, honestly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Emma. At least I like the way you came in, Thank you so much for your effort. Okay, I really appreciate. At least we heard a different voice too. Talking and talking and hearing your voice for a long time, honestly, is discouraging. But thank you for that. Okay, and thank you for being honest with us. Okay, so
Thank you.
you're welcome. So permit me to go back to Eunice. Eunice, please. Do we have another person? Eunice, are you there?
Yeah, we have Glory, but I don't know if her network is still the same or there's been improvement
Okay.
for her to.
Okay, Glory, can you hear us? Okay. All right. Since Glory cannot hear us, I guess I might ask Judy. Oh, Glory can hear me. Oh, thank you. Glory, please, what do you think?
Okay, what I think is that though the mom, she felt the pains of what the boy did to her, and for her to play that same station that the boy liked, to ask him to do that same thing, is for the boy to feel the same thing that she felt, for him to know that this particular thing that he did was totally wrong. So sometimes maybe like when you punish a child or when you beat a child, it might the child will get to know that this particular thing that I did is very wrong, that I'm not supposed to do it. But sometimes when you take it like a discipline by talking to them, like telling them this is what it is, they'll feel like okay, but there's no action that was taken against it, that might take it on granted. Because like sometimes, like my children, like me, I when they did something wrong, at that moment I can spank them and say no, this thing is not like this. But somebody talked to me that it's not by beating and all of that. So I would take my time talking to them, trying to correct them that this is how you will do that thing. But I see that that one without action is not working. I will be like, okay, you prefer beating than words or words. So I don't know. To me, that particular thing that the mom did, the boy will learn from it and he will know that because this thing is precious to me, that so thing happens to it, that tomorrow, even if he wants to do it, he will not do it again. He will remember that if I do such thing, mom will still repeat it back to me. So the child can equally learn from that too. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Glory. At least finally we heard your voice. And thank you for your submission. Yeah, well, yes, what you said, I understand every bit you said, okay? But please, I want to say one, or you said sometimes you beat. Thank God they are trying to, unlearn it. Yes, we really, really have to unlearn beating, spanking, using any physical whatever on a child. We need to unlearn that action. It was passed to us by our parents. And I want to tell you that most parents are trying to understand that, oh no, then was then, now is now. Even then, if I knew better, I would have done better. Most parents, because why do I say this? Because I've engaged my mom's friends, my mom and their friends, in a conversation like this from their own perspective. But let's come to this story. Now, number one, what the woman did, like Glory said that she did it for the guy, for the boy to feel it. Well, that was a good one for the boy to feel what she did and what he did, to see how it makes others feel, because this is my precious stuff. Is her pet. Her cat is her pet. So the mom knows that, oh, okay, your PlayStation is your pet, right? Now you're gonna do the same to your PlayStation. Is a good one. The boy has felt it. But the video stopped there after he broke the stuff. Now, if that was all the woman did, I tell you the truth that the lesson was not complete. Why did I say so? Because the child will go into the room and he's crying. Mommy has made me to break. It is the child did not understand though. He did not understand what happened. He did not understand because nothing has been explained. The only thing he'll be feeling is that he will now feel that mommy hates him and now feels like, oh, mommy, yes, I now broke my stuff. He will only be feeling that as in mommy has caused his own PS to, get damaged. Because this child should be like 7, 8 years, but no matter the age, let me just, as in, once is a child, I'm not talking about teenagers now, but the child is like, oh, mommy hates me, number one. Number two, mommy has destroyed because it's mommy. Everything now is mommy has destroyed my PlayStation. Yes, he feel that, oh, so this is what because I did this, that's why mommy did. She will feel it. But it stops there. The next thing is blaming. The child did not get anything from that message. The only thing he has done, the mother has succeeded, is that temporary feeling, what I did. Mommy did this because I did this. The boy, if that continues, is such a boy that will grow up to be, do me, I do you. Do me, I do you. That is it. That's if the video, because the video we saw stopped there. However, if the mommy, after breaking that, which is a good one, oh yes, let him learn. Let him understand that you did this is very bad. Okay, break your own. So next time, don't respect people's privacy, respect people's pets, people's valuables, respect it. But if the video stopped there, if the mom did not go back after everything, now goes back to call the boy and have this discussion. Why did you do this? Can you now say, how do you feel now? How do you feel now? Now you understand. You now broke your stuff. You see, you value this PS5, right? Now you have broken it, right? What feeling are you getting? Children, they know all these feelings. I feel sad. I feel bad. I don't, they know all those. They can tell you. You understand? So you have that conversation with the child. Then you have to also draw that conclusion. It is not good, you know, to what? Destroy people's thing because you will get this feeling. And now the lesson is complete. But if the video from what we stopped there, I tell you that if that boy grows up, he already knows that, yes, when I did this, mommy did this. So anybody that does me anything, I do back. Do me, I do back. But do me, I do back is not is not actually what you and I want for our kids. It's not do me, I do back. Yes, for sometimes, of course, there are sometimes when somebody is bullying you, you have to take actions, but it's not the do me, I do back thing. I hope we get this. So that's the story of the spilt milk. Sorry, the story of the internet I tried talking about. I hope we understand something from here because this story actually it actually tells me a lot, as in that internet when I saw it. Yes, even though, yes, there are times somebody from the beginning, somebody explained punishment as consequences. Somehow we can actually be confused about this disciplinary action that's disciplining the children, disciplinary action with the what? Punishment. Sometimes we can actually, even an adult, a full-blown adult, we can mix it up you know. And that's why some people are saying, but if I spank them, so they will not know that we know what they did is wrong. No, they are children. They cannot know because that spanking, you are trying to give them pain. They will not know. They just feel that, okay, it's pain they are giving me, corporal punishment that some teachers are actually saying, bring it back. Bring it back. What does it teach the child? Does it really show a positive behavioral change? Because all these things, you ask yourself, what do I want from this thing? Yes, I want my child to change from this. You will see if that mother later sits down with the child and has a conversation with the child will now and asks, I let the child also speak back to you. How do you feel now? You see, do you know you made me feel this way too? You see, is it good? You have that conversation, and it starts when they are young, not maybe when they are like into teenager, they are like 16, or then you want to come and have this conversation. You are joking. You are joking. It will take a miracle for you to actually get it right. It's still when they are young. That time they are running up and down. They don't know anything. That's when you're going to start feeling it in their heads, trying to reshape them, trying to show them the right steps, you know. Because come to think about it, even we adults, don't we also sometimes, misbehave? We do. Even after we talked about our parents spanked us, they did this, they spank those still whatever they gave us. Why did it not stop so many things? Because the discipline is what is a long-term change. It's not just something that just happens and stops. No, discipline is not like that. And that's why you now see a child, you say, oh my God, this child is a disciplined child. Because you can see the behavior, the positive behavior. And that behavior is habits, good habits that's been instilled in that child. Those are what you are seeing, you know. So if you did not take anything out from here, at least understand that if it does not teach anything, it does not teach anything. If it does not teach, you ask yourself, what is it teaching? This action I want to carry out, what is it teaching? What is my, because, and don't assume, stop assuming. Ask, talk with your child. At least a child of 4 years knows, Mommy, I'm sad. Mommy, I'm happy. If a child of 4 years knows that. So dialogue with them. Talk with them. Bring out that expression. For example, there are things you don't know. It's not easy for you to even speak out. How much more a child that is just coming to this our wicked world and trying to learn so many things. It's not easy for them to express themselves. Don't think that, okay, this one is now 8 years old. He should express. Sometimes they don't know what to say. They don't even know why they're doing that, acting out like that. They don't know. Just like we saw Chike. Chike did not know what he was doing. But a good teacher came to understand that Chike could not express, he didn't know how to express himself, that he was not understanding the lesson. And the boy wanted to understand. Because if he did not want to understand, he would just be like, this teacher, when you finish, you go now. He would just be thinking of PlayStation he's going to do after your lessons. But this child wanted to understand. Again, I will remind us of this. If in our offices they will say, tell us why under 24 hours we cannot give you this disciplinary action, then tell me why we cannot also allow our children to express themselves and then we correct them. We need to create that connection in order to correct. We need to create that relationship in order to correct our kids. And how do you create the relationship? How do you connect with them? It's by also allowing them to express themselves. It's by allowing them to come closer to you, express themselves. Anyhow they can express, the little way they can express. Give them that time. Why can't we give our children time? Time to have that dialogue. Time to ask them questions. Even if it happens today, you can even, this morning, you can even have that conversation in the afternoon. Okay, come over. It's time for us to talk. Come over. It's time for us to discover. You can even use, it's time for us to discover something about what happened. And you'll see your child being excited to discover from you, for two of you to discover something. Because in the office, they will give you a paper and tell you this paper is stating that you should tell us under 24 hours why we should not give you disciplinary action. So why don't you carry your child and say, okay, tell me why these consequences you will not have it, or tell me. Because that's what the woman actually did. Though she did the consequences, and then that's why I'm saying if it stops there, she did not finish the work. But if after doing it, she now takes and said, do you understand now why this happened? She has completed her job, her work of disciplinary action. Okay. All right. I don't want to waste our time. I think we have said a lot. Like I said, we have 8 models in this course. This is just the first one I'm dealing with. I'm giving all of us. Okay. That means we will still continue but I'm not gonna, it's not today, okay? That means this is the module 2. I hope you can see the module 2. If this has been interesting to you, I just want to say, please, I have my team with me here, and someone will be dropping our social media handles. Please join us. Mine is Shukrani Consult. Please join us on Facebook from time to time for you to be getting updates on things like this. Please, my colleagues, help us and drop our links so that they can join us on Facebook. We are not asking for anything except for your support. Please support what we do. Support what we do. Help us to share with your friends, okay? Because we really want to see this change. We are passionate about this. We truly, truly want to see changes in our educational system, because educational system is not complete if we don't talk about our families. Please help us. My colleagues will be dropping our social media handles. Please help us and follow us. If possible, share with your friends. This is what we are asking for. This is what we are pleading, because we want to spread this news. We love to see the change happening in Africa, not just in Obodoyibo. Please help us. All right. Before I end, this is the last one. Okay. So before I end, I would like to do another stuff with all of us right now. Now, the first is about reflection. Okay. I've talked about this. The lost. Okay. I've also talked about this, even though I didn't show the stuff. Now I'm in the reflection part. Okay. So the reflection part, I would like us to do something. Now, how were you disciplined growing up? Of course, this is for you, it's for you to reflect on. Maybe you can just write it or screenshot it, okay? You can just do it at home, because I don't want to waste our time. This is like 9:30 or so. So I don't want to waste our time. So I just want you to reflect on this. How were you disciplined growing up? Okay? What worked? Because we are adults now. What really worked for you? Okay. What left a mark? Okay. And what did it make you feel? Like, how did you feel about it? There are some things you can remember now and you're like, hi, oh my God, daddy dealt with me, or mommy dealt with me. Oh, but some people, most of us will say, anyway, we turned out well. We did not turn out well, anything like that. Oh, if it was that beating and spanking and everything, because somehow when you act out, you will know that I've messed up. Oh, hey, I did this thing. I think I'm still working on this. You get? Yes, it happens. Okay. Now, also, did it teach you skills or it instilled fear? Which one? Because there are some families, either their mom or their dad, whenever it's coming, you see that fear, you know. There are some mothers, when they are coming back, the children are running up and down to go and set up everything. Is it fine? Is it good? And I'm happy I didn't experience that one. In fact, I'm amongst the ones that my colleagues, my friends, they will always be like, I wish your mom was like my mom. My mom was like your mom, you know. So it all depends, all these things shaped us, but we might not know. But this reflection might help us, so that we'll even help our children too. Okay, so also, what pattern, are you repeating today? Very important too, because there must be something we have grabbed from our parents. Which one are you repeating? Are you going to repeat the one that has left a negative mark on you, or the one that has helped you? For example, I will tell us a story so that you'll understand where I'm taking you to, so that you do this reflection that will help you. And then if you love this course, I would like you to know that you might have to drop your email. Okay, we have your emails. We'll be sending messages to you, because we're going to be having our platforms, okay, where we'll be putting our courses, for our networks, our connections, okay, so that you can go in there. It's just at a cost, affordable, very affordable cost. So, but we are going to be doing these practical life stuffs that can change many of us, that can help us, shift, just a shift from what we are used to something that we are going to say, wow, so it can be done this way. Okay. So I said I wanted to say something. For example, now growing up, my mom was, or rather is, because she still is, my mom is a mathematics teacher. Okay, why my dad was an English teacher, even though he left the English department. Okay, English, he left the teaching department, I mean to say. Now, I'm always happy, to learn that mathematics from mommy. And that made me to be, honestly speaking, my mathematics was so cool. I've never been afraid of numbers. I'm very good at it. Okay. And that was what my mom did for me. My dad, he's a good teacher, but you know, there's this but, okay? So I'm just trying to let us understand. So why am I saying this but? I'm trying to help us when we are reflecting. So for example, my dad, when he's teaching you, my dad wants you to be, that perfect, you understand? So most times, when you like, I went to a school called Girls Secondary School Owerri. Now that girls secondary, you know how you are writing a letter, and then your girls, the S should the apostrophe should come after the S. Okay, so I'm always making that mistake. I always put my S before my apostrophe after my before my S, and my dad is like, "What is wrong with this girl?" Okay, imagine he will say it too, but I'll still repeat it the next time. The truth is that I didn't know what I was doing. And meanwhile, what I'm telling you, it was when we were preparing for secondary schools. Like I was preparing to enter college, secondary school, right? So I should be like 10 years, because 9, 10 years, that was primary school to secondary school. Okay. So you can imagine what happened then still is with me, because I will be afraid. Daddy will teach you, but I'll still be afraid to remember. Should it be after the S? What did daddy say again? After or S or before the S? I'll make that mistake. Daddy will repeat it. He will talk, 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 talk. It's like this girl is, in fact, because of that, there was a time, I'm a Catholic, so I wear this rosary, finger rosary. My dad will say, "What are you wearing on your hand? Ring? You are wearing a ring?" He will forget what's it called? Is a rosary. Oh, you understand? But my dad is like, "This is what is distracting you." You can imagine as a child, I still remember this. Okay? So my daddy will say, "Take it out." My daddy forgets that this is a rosary, oh, is our rosary as Catholics. But because he was angry that I am not getting the apostrophe where it should be, you understand? So you can imagine how I became, afraid to understand what my father is teaching. And I was like 10 years, 10 years is not that it's not a little child, it's the, bigger child, okay? But I'm just saying that I had that, oh my God, where should it be? Where should it not be? I don't want daddy to be afraid, to be angry, that kind of a thing. However, of course, okay, I'm the first child, right? However, growing up, I saw how my other siblings were treated. And I was still growing up like that. Then one day, when we all became adults, because of course we always having this family talk. We normally have a family gathering. Most times, maybe after the prayer or before the night prayer, we have family gathering. So it happened that I had to speak out one day. Of course, I became an adult. I said, "Daddy, you guys dealt with me. Oh. But the way you trained me is not how you are training as in at least the last girl, our last child. She is a girl. It's not the way. I'm not seeing it though." And now Daddy was like, "What are you talking about?" Because he didn't understand. And I had to explain. And you know that day my daddy apologized to me. Yes, he did. In front of all of us. In front of all of us, my daddy was like, "Kai." Like you will see that thing pained him. Like, is this what this girl has been carrying all this while? And that was, yes, that's what I carried. You understand? My father was really like, wow. He couldn't believe it. Then my mom wanted to soften everywhere because I wanted them to feel what they have done to me. But then, of course, it's nothing. Of course, I've grown out, I've outgrown it, you know. But my dad was, they were not like, anyway. My mom was like, well, you know that you are the first now. We have to train you so that every other person will follow along. You understand that kind of thing. But then it shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be that. Of course, like I said, you can't give what you don't have. But it shouldn't be that the first one should have that forceful training, putting it on her, blah blah. No. So that the others, but I understood where they were coming from. It was now a time for us to dialogue, for us to talk about life, and that was how that came up. Imagine if I couldn't bring it up, you know. And of course, by then my siblings are already married, and they understood this. And everybody, we all learned from it. You understand? So I believe that we should all do reflection, okay? Try and do the reflection, okay? All of us, we actually have our baggages we are carrying. Even these alpha generations, they will also have the ones they will carry when they grow, okay? Because we are still going to give them the ones they will carry. And we don't know the future, what it will bring. Because when we were younger, we didn't know that the future will bring artificial intelligence for us like this, okay? So that's why we should actually be careful in raising a child. Is I think is one of the biggest, hardest job on earth. Okay. Now, our take home so far is that punishment controls behavior, but discipline teaches the behavior. And once it does not teach, it's not discipline. And I think at this point, I will call it a day. Thank you, everyone. Before I completely end, I want to know if there's any question for me or comments or anything.
Um, Thank you so much, Vivian. It was really an insightful one. Yeah, there's it's been a time of unlearning and learning, and also others to relearn too as well. And yeah, I totally do agree with most things that you've said. In fact, um I can relate, but then I have a question. Because honestly, it's really not easy. And from what Christine mentioned, yeah, when she was talking, there were things I could relate to. And yeah, the Nigerian spirit in us, the African spirit in us, at some point would always want to show up and take charge of situation, especially when these children, they can push you to the wall. You're trying to practice that gentle parenting, and you're trying to be gentle, and you're using the softest voice that you've ever got, just to make sure that they do as they're being told. But like I said, these children sometimes will push you to the wall, and sometimes a little spanking, a little. And I happen to have spoken to someone who is a social worker, and I was talking with her over here. And I was talking with her a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that yes, for even if you have to spank, that the only thing that is acceptable is just, that spanking on the bum, but it's not something that is actually inflicting so much pain on the child, because yeah, that's where, you know, the African spirits can take over, and then you ensure for us for over in Africa, in Nigeria, if we don't see that child scream and cry, we know that yes, we've not passed the message across. But then again, in cases whereby you have tried everything and this child, because another thing with kids is when they know that they can always get what they want, okay, mommy is this kind of person that when she just says it once, she says it twice, and I'm not listening, she would do it herself. So sometimes when these children, my question is, when it gets to that point whereby you're seeing that these kids are already seeing that pattern in you, how can you ensure or rather reinforce that, okay, despite the fact that I'm trying to be patient with you, and despite the fact that I'm trying to understand, because yes, you're going to have that one-on-one talk with them, that I'm trying to make you understand why you're not doing okay, tell me what's the problem. And you find out at the end of the day, they might not really have much to say. Do those say, okay, I'm sorry, I see that you're angry, I don't want you to be angry, I'm sorry, but no, tell me what exactly is the issue. Do you get? So you find out that it's just something they just, I don't know, they don't have a reason. Maybe because my kids are still very of tender ages, and they've not gotten to that point whereby they can really express how they are feeling. They just want to have their own way and have it. So in that situation and in that scenario, like to me, once I've talked and talked and talked, it's not as if like I don't do that every day, like once in a while. That once in a while spanking, I just want to ask, because you said spanking we shouldn't do. When is once in a while spanking allowed? I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what you mean totally. eh, honestly, that once in a while spanking, it shouldn't come up. Like, okay, when you spank, does it change? Does it change anything? Let's take it from there. When you spank, what happens? Does it change what you want? Does it change?
So my daughter is about
Eh?
yes.
Eh?
When she
Hello?
asked the question and she said yes.
Yeah, me too. I will say yes. I will say yes.
Oh, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
yes, it's not an everyday thing.
Le-
Is
le-
that
let me tell you something. It does not work. It's just like we said, it's just for that temporary time. Okay, why do you now keep once in a while spanking? If it worked, if it worked, why did you now another day you now did the spanking? Why? Why? So did it really work?
yeah,
It works because even if you want to discipline your child, you want to give him some advice, you are not going to tell him once. You are going
mm,
to tell him ever and ever till he understands.
yeah, because
Okay, thank
But
you.
I
Thank you for
think
that.
that
Let me now
it's
ask you.
better to
Let
not
me
beat. We agree on that. It's better to not do that, but it works also.
But no, you didn't get it. Remember that I said when I started, were you here when I started? I said punishment. I'm not saying we shouldn't punish children, no, but I used to understand the difference. I need us to the difference is what makes it. Remember that, of course, you can get punishment, like you said, you are punishing them by beating, spanking, because it's not discipline, okay? Because they are not learning anything from there. All right. Now, you have spanked them. As you spank them, it will stop it temporarily, but they will still do it again. And the worst thing is that they did not get anything. They did not learn anything. Remember, when it does not teach anything, it did not work. It's not discipline. Now, look at this one now. Remember, I said, even that punishment, later, the child is you're even creating that separation, that distance between you and your child. Imagine the two teachers and somebody, a parent told us that she will pick the second child, the second teacher. I asked why. She said because the second teacher tried to understand the child, because the second teacher showed love to the child, because the second teacher came closer to understand again, not harsh on the child. But the first teacher, work out, you solved the problem, it worked too. Remember, two of them worked because they stopped whatever it is the child was doing. Okay? But which one helped that child? Which one taught the child? The first, you are just controlling because you're an adult. You are just controlling because the child is helpless. You are just controlling the child. You are just, in fact, let me put it the way it will pain the parents when they remember. You are just bullying the child because you are an adult, because this child is helpless. And then you spank. We are just lazy. That's why. We are overwhelmed and we're taking it out on the child. Remember again, I said, in your offices, they will ask you, tell me under 24 hours. That's what they do. Because if they did not do that, you have the right to sue them. If you do something in the office, they immediately did whatever. You feel like, and you're a good staff, and maybe they're just trying to bewitch you or whatever. They must give you that, tell me under 24 hours, why we will not give you a disciplinary action. If they did not, it's just that Nigerians, we don't know our rights. You have the right to go to that, as in sue those people for not giving you that for not giving you that 24 hours to explain yourself. So if we could give it to adults, why can't we give it to children? And I even said, we are giving adults 24 hours. Are we supposed to even give children 24 hours? We keep giving them that disciplinary action, keep telling to them, talking to them. Somebody said it that you still keep talking to them, and therefore you will still keep spanking to them. Now, two of them, which one we help the child, or don't we want to help our children? Don't we want them to get the right measure, or let me say the right consequences, and knowing the right thing to do in order to escape or in order not to get such consequences? I don't know if I explained myself well, but if we can
I
understand it,
If I can say
yes,
something, yeah.
yes,
I
I'm listening. Yes.
don't do that with your brother. Oh, what's that? Say, baby, oh, if I could have said something, I'm not saying that you are, for me personally, you are not wrong. I'm not saying that you are wrong. I understand the difference between uh, punishment and discipline. You
Mm.
said something that is true. When we are overwhelmed, we tend to shout on our children when we are
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed. But I will have
Mm-hmm.
also underlined something. When we
Mm.
spank our children, I'm not sure there's even one parent who can spank his children without telling him why he did that.
Okay, let me now
Yeah.
ask you. Now, let me
Okay.
ask. Why will you now use that physical boom boom? Why will you use physical whatever on them? Why will you use physical stuff on them? Why?
Mm-hmm.
If you said you will talk, there are people that spank them. They don't tell them anything. Like
Okay.
me, let me tell you
No.
for
In that
example.
case,
Yes.
I understand.
Uh-huh.
In that
Let
case,
me
I
tell you.
understand. Because me, for
Even
example, even if I
yeah,
want to advise you, if you did something and then they report it to me, maybe
yeah,
I will just discuss with you. They are for sure they are kids. My first
yeah,
is not even 5 year yet. You
yeah,
understand? Yeah. So
yeah.
if they report, I can just say that I didn't understand. But if I see, I will discuss with you. I will tell you that this not good because. If it's something that happened and then I spank you, I will also explain you that not good. And sometimes me personally, when I act like that, sometimes and usually I will call you later and then sorry, okay? You see, I don't want to do it to beat you, but you did this thing. And I think that they learn. So spank is not good, but sometimes you are like, you need to.
What no, what is not good is not good. Once something is not good, there's nothing about it, it's not good. You
Okay.
just said it now. Yes. It's just that sometimes we're overwhelmed, and that's just the easiest thing to do. Boom, boom, boom. You understand? That's why I said that raising kids, I believe is one of the hardest job on earth. It's not easy. It's not easy at all, at all, at all. Okay? Because imagine so many things going on our head as parents, right? And then a child is you are just immediately you are like you are pissed because it's adding to the other thing you have. Imagine you are coming back from work or whatever. The child has added already to the burden you have. You understand? And then we just want to react and stop it immediately. And that is bad. You know? So that's why I said somehow in quotes, I said we adults are wicked, that we need justice, as in justice for the children. You understand? Because
Yeah,
like what
I
Eunice
understand.
asked, yeah, like what Eunice asked, honestly, it's not the children, it's us. If by the time we keep accepting it, that it is us, by the time we keep accepting it, I think we will do better. It's not the children, it's not them. Honestly speaking, because these children came into this world, this world that they don't know anything about. They just came empty. We are the ones that are gonna help to fill it up, starting with the home that we have created, the environment. It is us. Whatever they do, whatever behavior they start acting out, it is us. And that behavior, they are telling us, help me, I'm helpless. That's what they are screaming. That's what they are screaming every time they misbehave because they don't know what they are doing. Do you know that? Okay, imagine God. Should be God. No, do you know that God forgives us our sins because He really knows that we don't know what we are doing? You see, this sin, honestly speaking, He forgives. Okay, then there are deliberate sins. Of course, I don't want to go into religion, no, but I'm just trying to help us maybe reflect. Okay, imagine what God's even made it that no matter our sin will be forgiven. Once we repent, we come to Him with clean heart. That guy forgives us. Oh. Imagine, even if maybe somebody we know that should be crucified immediately, and that guy repents immediately, God will forgive him immediately. But we will just be like, why will this person be forgiven? Look, can you imagine the atrocity? But God forgives. You get? Now, The kids, it's because he knows that, these children don't know. They don't know. That's it. Now, it's the same thing with us. As parents, we should understand that these children don't know. They don't know what they are doing. Not at all. Now, it's somehow different when we're talking about teenagers. However, why I'm starting from the children is because whatever we do, that foundation time, and then they get into adolescence, is our fault too. And yes, if we don't start when they are young, then when they get into teenagehood, whatever it is, if we try correcting it, it's going to be like times 4 or times whatever. You get? So that's why I'm saying that at least when we are that overwhelmed, let's remember that if we are in the office, they will give us 24 hours to reflect. So please, let's also not try to bam, bam, bam. Okay, think about it. If the child does that immediately and you give the child like 2 days, you will not want to spank the child again. You will want to think about it. Let 2 of you think. Let's discover. You might think, like Eunice said, that, oh, these children. Yes, you might think you are not doing with that. And they even come and say, Mommy, sorry. There was one of my cousins, when she was 3 years old, any little thing, oh, Mommy, I'm sorry. Mommy. In fact, we started, like some of our cousins started calling her sorry. Like her name was not, we now started calling her sorry. Even when she was 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, this girl had to say, why is my name sorry? You understand? We now explained to her every little thing when she was 3, 4. Mommy, I'm sorry. And she will keep saying that sorry, following Mommy up and down. You understand? So I think that sorry they are saying, you might think is nothing, but it's something powerful. It's a feedback they are giving you. It's a good one. Oh, I have done this. Oh, my mommy is angry. Because you're already showing them, I'm not happy with you on this. And they're saying, oh, so mommy is not happy. It means that this thing is a bad thing. No, mommy, we are sorry. They might repeat it again. No, it is still the same. Come back to tell mommy, mommy, I am sorry. That's it. That's why this training continues, because that's why we say learning, is a continuous act until we are dead. Even adults, we all misbehave. We are not perfect. Nobody is. It's only the Almighty God that is perfect, that can never do anything wrong. But all of us, we are not perfect. No matter what, we continue to learn. The day you stop learning, that is when you are dead. Not maybe physically, but you are dead in all other ramifications. So I just wish that people will understand this. But I'm coming up with a book on this too. I'm coming up with a book because I realize that many of us, even some of my friends here too, some of them say, I have a friend that when the child does that thing, I discovered of recent, she will put the child in the car. As they drive, that's when she will deal with the child, because she will say, I don't want to beat you up here so that the neighbors will hear it, and then they'll come and report me. They'll hear your voice crying. Then they'll come and report me. You understand? So it was later, we got into talking. I was like, no. I started talking. We started talking. We argued about it, like not really arguing. Like she would bring her points. I'm like, no, look at it. Okay, look at this. We were just looking at it up and down. At the time, one day she called me, said, Vivian, you are right, though. Forget it. You are right. But it's just that, leave me, leave me. It's not easy. I said, I know it's not easy. But let us accept that it is also. It is us. It's because we don't have time. It's because we are overwhelmed. It's because we just want it to stop that time. And we forgot that we need to help these children. We need to help them for their future. Do you understand? To become better human beings in future. Just like I said, imagine a child that does not do homework. You think it's only that the child went home and did not want to do the homework. It's the environment in the house. Maybe there's cartoon from morning to night. Nobody's supervising. Maybe the mother is like trying to sleep. Give them cartoon, please, let me sleep. The child forgets the homework. By the time they remember, it's already late. Carry it, go like that, please. The teacher should understand. The next time it will repeat itself. So the parent has failed the child. You've not prepared necessary things that will equip this child. And that's it. And that's why teachers and parents must always work hand in hand. It's not possible to separate it. And moreover, sometimes you see parents blaming teachers. Why are you blaming teachers? Because your home is actually the first classroom. Somebody said this in our last training. You know, your home is the first classroom. So you are the one that sets up everything. Again, I said it's not easy to be into this job. It's one of the hardest job. Okay. I just pray. I hope that all of us will try our best. Yes, we were spanked when we were growing up. Our parents did that to us. But please, let's understand that this time around, we are relearning. We are going to relearn. We are going to unlearn. It's not easy. Let's keep doing that, talking with them. Let's keep directing them. Let's try. In fact, let me say this. Let's try and connect with these children in order to correct them, in order to create that relationship, that bonding, that these children can even come up and tell us everything. Because if you keep spanking that thing, you might be pushing them away. You don't know. And then sometimes they will not, when they now grow into teenagehood, you just be like, this girl is adolescent that is doing her. It's not only adolescent that is doing the child, though. You did not start it from when the child was small. It's not only an adolescent. The child is afraid of you. The child is like, mommy will be angry now. Who knows how that will be punished? Who knows how I'll be spanked? But imagine a child that knows that, I need to gist mommy. I need to talk with my mom. Even though I'm wrong, mommy is going to correct me with love. You know? You think they don't know all these things. It's the feelings we are creating in them. We all have our feelings as adults. Imagine the children. Once you are alive, you must have feelings. That's why we teach feelings in school. We teach, I'm happy, I'm sad, I am surprised, It's because life is full of feelings. I hope with this, we will always understand whenever we are so overwhelmed that we feel like, let me spank small. I hope with this, we will understand that punishment is just controlling. We are bullying these children. But trying to, discipline them, trying to get that disciplinary action with them, talk with them, analyze things, not really punishing them. Like that woman that told the boy, break this thing, did not spank the boy, just say break it. Then when we finish that, talk with the child. The woman was really pained. And the woman is like, really? I need this boy to get this feeling. That is not good. So break it. But when you finish, talk again. Talk. That's our job as parents and teachers. We talk to them. Because what we don't have, we cannot give. And that's why we are doing all this kind of awareness. Let us all know now, so that tomorrow we will not regret. Oh, I hope I did justice to the question. Hello.
Hi.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much, Miss Vivian. I've really learned a lot today. There are a lot of things that I would say I'm victim of it, like the way of correcting, spanking, and all of that. There are sometimes you've already said it all, like when you are overwhelmed, you will not know what to do at that moment. The only thing that is in your head, like even sometimes when you are back from work or you are overwhelmed with some challenges that you feel like you don't even know the next thing to do at that point, and a child came up with another thing, mommy this. The only thing I would just scream, I say, please leave me alone. As in, just leave my side. Like, I don't even want to pay attention to anything at all that the child is about to say at that moment. And even if they do something wrong, something that does not even warrant beating or anything. But because of that anger in me and the way I'm feeling at that moment, I will just unleash it on them. And after a while, I would just calm down. I would be like, did they really deserve this? But sometimes children will do some certain things that you look at it and you'll be like, am I wasting my time? Like today, I was just questioning them, like, this is weekend, though, even if you don't have homework, are you not supposed to read your book? Are you not supposed to do this? I will call them. Even sometimes it's just like sarcasm, like, and
Yeah.
people understand, like, okay, what is the next thing when somebody is talking, like, you're looking at that person and you say sometimes they don't really have an answer to it. They do. Even when you are talking to them, they'll be answering you. I say, okay, as somebody that is going to school, do you know your reason of going to school? He said yes. He's 5 years going to six. He said yes. I said, so why are you going to school? He was answering me, he's going to school to learn to know how to read and write. I said, okay, so now what are you doing now? Are you learning? Are you reading? He said no. I said, why? He was just like, nothing. I said, no, it can't be nothing. Give me that particular reason that makes you, because if you want to be a better person, or if you want to get it right, like you want to know the way you said it, you are supposed to be working on it, not for you to fold your hands. So I asked him to recite multiplication table 2, 3, 4 to 5. He did from 2 to 3, 1, 2 to 3. So he stopped there. I said, so what happened to the rest? When he started with multiplication table 4, he was saying 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 8, 4 times 3, 9. I said, what? Like he was doing messed up and all of that. So I I picked up
You
my cane. So it was now changing, like in the process of discipline or punishments, we get children to be scared of us, like you have earlier said, it's true. Me,
Yeah.
I think those things we got it from the way we were being trained. Everything
Yeah.
that you were is the same thing that happens to us. My mom, she doesn't have time, but my dad, that's the same way. And I'm sure all of us, all my siblings, we all took after him. Like, we are not patient, like anything that's, as in, like, why are you not getting this thing? This thing is supposed to be like this. We want them to be perfect. And
Yeah.
their mindset is not there yet. Like, you use example of Jesus saying that, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they are doing. At that
Yeah.
moment, they might know and they might not know it very well to the fullest, like completely, but they have an idea that this thing that I'm doing is not supposed to be like this. Like my other baby, I got something for him. Instead of him to say, oh, mommy, thank you for getting this for me, the next thing, it was like, this thing is too big, blah, blah, blah. I was so angry. I collected it from her. I said, you see, you know what? Because you don't know how to appreciate, I'm not giving you this thing. So he just slammed the bed, he folded himself, and like somebody that feel bad, like he was feeling bad of what he of his action. So
Yeah.
he, at the time when he woke up, I called him. I said, Prince, he said, Mom. I said, do you know what you did? He said, yes. I said, is that the right thing for you to do? He said, no. I said, what are you supposed to do? He said, I'm supposed to say, Mommy, thank you. I said, so why did you not say it? He said, he was just giving me one silly excuse. I just look at it. I said, next time, don't do that, because if you try to show this attitude, I might not even give you anything again, and you will be like that. So he just said,
Amazing.
Mom, sorry. I said, okay. And that's
Amazing.
all.
Amazing. Do you know that the child was trying to tell you that he doesn't know, he doesn't have that skill of expressing gratitude. You understand? But you have done the job by letting him understand that you need to express this, this gratitude kind of a thing. You need to learn it. You understand? So you can imagine he told you, yes, he was following you as you were questioning him. So why didn't he do it? It's not just he just didn't know. He didn't know is needed. He didn't know is important. He didn't know. You understand? But now you have put him through. Trust me that next time, if this boy remembers, he will be, in fact, he'll be shouting, thank you, mommy, thank you, mommy. You observe it and see. Okay, but if he doesn't say it again, you have to still correct and let him know. With time, you will see that this boy will be the one that will be showing appreciation, gratitude. Like yourself, you'll be like, why is this boy always so happy, so grateful? So you understand? Honestly speaking, he's trying to communicate that I don't have that skill. Mommy, teach me. I don't have that skill. And then there's another thing you talked about. It is also in the, this course. I told you guys is a course. It's just the model one I've said. Now, in this course, there's a model, I can't remember which one, about the homework you talked about. Don't make it look like homework. Like even yourself, even all of us, we are tired. Homework is like a task, right? But make it for them. Let it look like a discovery. Have you discovered something today? Did they not give you something to help you discover more? You understand? Make it exciting. Is you. That's why I said it's not easy to raise children. It's not easy. Even we teachers, we can understand what we pass through, not to talk of parents that you're always with those, how many kids you have. You understand? So imagine you are telling your child, don't go and read. Go no. Even self, sometimes allow them to play. Play is also discovering. In fact, imagine me using discovery now. They're also discovering something at the moment of playing. At the moment you even feel that these children are idle, they are not doing anything. They are learning something. You will not we cannot understand it. You get? So if you want to let them go to the reading corner or the studying corner, don't make that reading corner look like one punishment. They've already had a lot of that. To them, they've had a lot of that again, talk, study in school. Make it look like discovery moment. Make it look like exciting moment. Make it look like fun moment for them. So it's not left for you to twist the sentence or the statement you want to give them. Hello, did you do anything today? Oh, what did they give you to discover? They did not give you people anything to discover. I need you to go and discover something from that. Oh yeah, go to the corner, pick your book, discover something and come and tell mommy. You know that you will see your child will run, carry the book and go to sit down and try to learn one or two things. Depending. So it's actually left for us. We're the ones that will prompt these children, prompting like the AI, like the AIs. We have to prompt them. That's what they are in that word, the AI word. We must prompt them. We must lead them. You understand? So let's make it fun. Let's not make studying like one burden, because already it's actually a burden. Even you as an adult, even us as an adult, sometimes we are like, I'm tired of studying today. I've studied too much. My head is pound. Yes. How much more the child, you know? So I guess yes, we should also, it's not easy, like I said, it's not easy. And I know, one of us, we have a platform for mommies, because it's not really easy on mommies. I saw one video again. I don't know who has seen that video on internet. They said mommy going to work versus daddy going to work. So daddy going to work, he just had his suitcase or a booklet he has like that. He was just walking to go to work. But mommy going to work, she had the children, she had her bag, she had another bag, she had this one. She was not going to work. Of course, mommy has to drop the children. Mommy has to, you understand? And most times that's the case. It's just in fewer cases that the dad has to drop, or maybe both parents have to drop, that kind of a thing. Most times school runs is mommy, most times. So that was what they showed. This one is a recent video I saw. So we really, it's not easy. Yes. So that platform too is a good platform where mothers have to share a lot of things, onboarding themselves and all that. Is not easy. Like I said, raising kids is one of the hardest job on earth. Yes, it is. So I guess, like I said, this is just the model 1. We have up to model 8. So if we are saying, wow, we gained something from this, imagine the 2, 3, 4, 5 to 8. Okay. And I want to assure everybody that it's a course that you will love to have, because it's going to help us to unlearn and relearn a lot. However, once the whole courses are ready, I'll let all of us know. And I don't mind, like we have dropped our what's it called, social media handles. Everybody can follow us, help us to what's it called, share to all of us. Okay, help us do that. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's anybody that has comments or something to say. before we call it a day. And please feel free to always tell us the kind of courses you want to have. We'll be very happy to organize such for you. Okay. I don't know if there's any other person that has anything to say. Okay. Thank you so much, Glory, for being here. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you. Who else came in? Chris. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone that joined the program. Any other question can actually be dropped for us, because I sent out messages. You can use the email to also communicate. Thank you so much for being here. And I guess at this junction, we can call it a day. Yeah, Glory is still here. Chris is still here. Okay. So is Emma that later left? All right. So thank you everyone for being here. In the absence of no other comment or question, thank you for being here. And I hope
Thank
we
you.
spread the good news.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you. And
Yes, thank
Welcome.
you. Bye.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night.